Okay guys, this is Jet Optimus Prime 1 back at you again, bringing something a little bit different this time. This time I'm going to be doing actually a movie review, which I had done one before back when Transformers Dark of the Moon came out. And I really didn't go that well, and I really kind of didn't like it. But this time, you could probably guess what it's about. This is going to be a movie review on Star Wars The Force Awakens. Came out December 18th. As you all probably have seen already. Most people have probably seen it, so that's why I'm more going to go ahead and probably going to set this review. I'm trying something new. I'm going to be having a picture set up, and I'm just going to be recording my audio, so this way you don't actually hear, you don't actually see anything. This is going to be my audio. So maybe this will work, maybe this won't. If you see this, you know what? You got lucky. So, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. My God, this is one of the best movies I have ever gone to the movies to go see. I had never seen a Star Wars movies with the original cast on the big screen, and I had always wanted to. I've seen, I think, all of the prequels, as a matter of fact, on the big screen. I wasn't born. I wasn't born to see Episode 1, but I was able to see Episode 3, and I don't remember seeing Episode 2. My parents said that I went to go see it. I don't remember it. But I remember seeing Episode 1 in 3D, and that was a crappy experience. But Star Wars: The Force Awakens, this movie is just so amazing. I love it. I have seen it myself several times. Several as in meaning 7 times. And I plan on going this Sunday again, as a matter of fact. I'm hoping to go this Sunday. So, yeah, I'm actually recording this on New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year's, everybody. Hopefully this gets put out maybe on New Year's Day or maybe New Year's Eve. We'll see. But anyways, going back to the movie. Yes, this movie is great. It's just it's the best Star Wars movie since Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. That is saying something. Because I really kind of don't like Return of the Jedi. I really don't. It's great. The characters and the acting in this movie is great. The characters in these movies are amazing. This will contain spoilers. I'm just letting you know now. This first part is going to contain spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go watch this movie. And plus, what are you doing that you have not seen this movie yet? You have to go and you have to see this movie. It's big. Anyways, okay, now going to the spoilers. Daisy Ridley as Rey is one of the best performances in a movie that I have seen in a while. She is just so awesome as Rey. It's great. In fact, she's easily my favorite new character. I love her. She's just so great, And it may copy Hunger Games a little bit in the fact that it's a woman being the main figure, in the movie and the main hero. But that's all right with me. It's just she works out really great. She's lovable. She can be vulnerable when she needs to be. She could be tough when she needs to be. And you know what? She could be a smartass when she needs to be. Pardon my French. Which is just great. John Boyega as Finn is great. I did not know what to think of him. He could deliver just humor when there needs to be humor, and I like the fact that these two characters, how they meet and how they interact together is amazing. The interaction between the characters in this movie is great. Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. Holy crap, this guy is awesome. He is awesome. He is like Han Solo with Luke Skywalker's, piloting skills in the X-Wing, and Han Solo's, humor and just, yeah, he's just great. And I didn't think I would honestly like him in the movie. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what to think of his character, but he's awesome. He's a badass. Adam Driver as Kylo Ren. Here's the thing. Adam Driver as Kylo Ren is okay. I don't mind it. I do not like Kylo. I do not. I do not like Kylo Ren as a villain. I'm gonna say it. I do not like Kylo Ren. I found him to be a very lame and very weak villain. But I will get into that further. What's her name? Who plays Captain Phasma? I am trying to think. What's her name? One moment. Gwendoline Christie as Captain Phasma. There's really, you don't see her a lot. What she's in, she's alright, but she's Rick Oley. Or Darth Maul. Or she's kind of like Boba Fett. She gets a couple of lines, she looks awesome. She's really not there that much, and she really doesn't get delivered. I'm hoping she's a bigger deal in Episode 8. Anyways, so yeah, and then Harrison Ford is great, and he brings it back as Han Solo. He just does so well. It was great seeing him back again. And then Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca. It's actually really hard to tell when Chewie is CGI and when he's not. But Peter Mayhew's back as Chewbacca. Carrie Fisher as Leia. She doesn't come out that much, but when she's in it, she's great as General Leia now. She's great. Mark Hamill. Since this is a spoiler section, he does not really see it. You don't really see him that much. He comes out in the very end of the movie and he has zero dialogue. He's nothing but expression. But I'll get to his expression later. He did good. He did good. Just by making a face, he did great. Who else is left? BB-8. Oh my God, BB-8. I love R2-D2, but BB-8 is so likable. I kind of like him a little bit more than R2. Don't hate on me for that, but I like BB-8. He reminds me of Wally. I don't know if anybody else thought that, but he reminded me of Wally. Who is left? Maz Kanata, I don't know who plays her, but she was good. She wasn't in the movie for that much, but she played a central role in the movie. Anthony Daniels as C-3PO doesn't bring that humor that he had in the prequels. He's how he was in episodes 4 and episodes 5. He's great. He's just great. It's good seeing him again anyway. And then his introduction is great. You will laugh when you see him again. But that just about does it for the cast. Other than Andy Serkis, but Andy Serkis is he was alright as Supreme Leader Snoke. On to the story. The story in this movie was great. It wasn't the best story. The story itself is kind of like the original Star Wars, but a little bit different. The characters make it different. Hang one moment. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Okay. People that were saying it's like episode 4, it's not episode 4, guys. It's not. You need to see this movie. The story is, though, it's essentially a rogue stormtrooper that doesn't know and just wants to abandon what is the First Order. Okay, it is 30 years after Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. It's 30 years after basically the fall of the Galactic Empire, and it's fallen from the ashes of basically built from the ashes of the Empire is this First Order, as they call themselves, the First Order, and they're essentially like the Empire except worse. Supposedly, like where they contain everything, it's worse. And instead of the rebellion, it is now the Resistance. Which if you actually read, it's not as big as the rebellion because it's mainly like there's not a lot of followers in this re- resistance. There isn't as many followers in this resistance as there was in the rebellion. Mainly because there was this galactic treaty, which they didn't mention any of this in the movie, but there was this galactic treaty, and essentially they did not want to break the treaty, so Leia sets up this resistance, and she gets as many followers as she can. It's very small though. They don't say it, but it's small. Anyways, yes, and in the First Order, there is a rogue stormtrooper, FN 2187. Um, he is trying to basically somewhat find himself and find a purpose, and throughout the whole movie, he's basically on the run from the First Order. He's trying to basically get away from them. And then that introduces us to Poe Dameron. He is a hotshot X-wing fighter. I mean, X-wing pilot in the Resistance. That was sent on a mission to find a missing. Where he was sent to find a piece of a map containing the location of Luke Skywalker. We do not know what happened to Luke. He went, at the time we didn't know what happened to Luke. So he's missing. Anyways, Leia sent them out, and then we get introduced to Rey. And Rey is a scavenger on the planet of Jakku, and she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know where she's from, and she does not know what she is capable of doing. She's waiting there for her family after decade, like I would say in her 20s, and she's waiting there for her family that had left her there at Jakku. So those are the characters, and then essentially FN 2187 helps Poe escape, and they escape on a TIE fighter. There, Poe gives the stormtrooper the name Finn because of FN. So then we get introduced to essentially Finn, and they crash land on Jakku. Poe is nowhere to be found, and it's Finn looking for him, and it's him looking for Poe, but he didn't find him. And so he finds Nema Outpost, which is where Rey is at currently, because she was going to go turn in some scraps that she found, because once again, she's a scavenger, and she turns in the scraps for food rations, which are portions, essentially. She goes to go turn those in, and by this time, she has BB-8 with her. Because BB-8, Poe gave BB-8 the map to Luke, and BB-8 got lost on Jakku, and Rey found him, and essentially now they're together. So, and then Rey takes down Finn, thinking that he stole Poe's jacket. And then they basically meet up. The First Order goes to Jakku to find Finn and the droid. They get chased by the First Order. They find the Millennium Falcon. They find Han Solo. And essentially, once they find Han Solo, that's when that's when mainly their main adventure together unfolds. Okay. So that is right there, that. One moment, please, once again. Okay. Now I loved Rey. I loved Finn. I loved Poe. BB-8 was adorable. Kylo Ren is a villain, though. He's so lame. Like, I'm not trying to sound like, oh, I hate Star Wars or anything. I mean, he's just a lame villain. He's known as Darth Tantrum in my family. We know him as Darth Tantrum because anytime something doesn't go his way, he throws his fit. Rey escapes by a Jedi mind trick at one point. He pulls out his lightsaber, throws a fit. This lieutenant goes to tell Ren that they escaped on a Corellian freighter, and he essentially goes ape shit and starts, slashing at a computer because he loses his shit. Once again, pardon my French. So then that happens, and Kylo Ren is just boring. There's a reason about his lightsaber, the cross guards, and that is because he has a cracked crystal in the housing. His crystal is cracked, and it just can't contain the power. So that's why he has those cross guards, is to vent out the energy and the power that it just cannot contain. So that way it can contain it in that housing, and that's why they has cross guards. And he thinks that he is all-powering, and he's trying to be like Vader. And we find out that Vader is his grandfather because Kylo Ren is Han Solo and Leia's kid. Yeah, that's his kid. And he's also the reason why Luke goes into hiding, is because Luke was trying to band together and make basically a new Jedi Order. Ren was seduced by Supreme Leader Snoke to go to the dark side. And essentially he did. And he killed the Jedi that Luke was training. So Luke blames himself for that and goes into hiding. And he goes to the first Jedi Temple, I'm pretty sure is what they refer to it as. So that's why Luke is in hiding. He's in hiding because of that. Okay. We do not know who Rey is. We still do not know her identity, even by the end of the movie. We speculate that it is Luke Skywalker's daughter, though. That is what I speculate. She's on her way to becoming a Jedi. She is very strong with the Force. She's very strong with the power of the Force. And Rey and Kylo Ren finds this out when he tries to get the map from her with trying to get inside of her head with the Force. She resists Kylo Ren, and that's when Kylo Ren realizes, hey, she is strong with the Force. And then Han Solo dies. It sucks. Han Solo dies in this film. This was his last hurrah, and he died in the hands of his son. So many years, people always had, he had his back, and he was always on defense. He was always defending himself. And the one time he let his guard down for his son betrayed him. That is how Han Solo died. And he tries to bring Kylo Ren back to the light side. And Kylo Ren betrays him, and he gets impaled by a lightsaber. It was very sad. Oh well. But that leads... Okay. But then at that point, he notices... And Rey and Finn and Chewbacca witnesses. And Chewie, oh my god, Chewbacca's reaction to Han's death is one of the most tragic things in this movie. It is just... that is the part that gets you emotional, because it's not his partner dying. It's his brother dying. Chewie and Han were together like bread and butter. They were always together. They always had each other's back. So seeing Han Solo... So probably him seeing Han Solo die like that must have been bad. So yeah, and then he shoots Ren in the stomach area, and he shoots a whole bunch of stormtroopers, and blows up charges they had set on Starkiller Base. Oh yeah, by the way, Starkiller Base is kind of like a bigger Death Star, and this time it could blow up star systems. So yeah, so he sets off the charges. Ray and Finn were watching it as it happens, and you see Kylo Ren look up angrily, almost as growling at them, and um, starts to chase them down, and they run, and the place is collapsing in the it's collapsing at this point. Excuse me. Um, so they escape. Ren catches him off guard in the snow. At this point, he's helmetless. Um, he says that Han Solo is now no longer there to defend him. He force pushes Rey into a tree, almost as if it was breaking her back and stuff. Finn looks at him angrily, picks up the lightsaber, and that's when the lightsaber duel happens. The big lightsaber duel that we saw in the trailers happened, and it was great. It was raw. It was awesome. Kylo, he gets him Finn gets one good hit on Kylo Ren in the arm. Kylo Ren unarms him and slashes his back. A lot of people think he's dead. He's not dead. It's mainly his spine. It's messed up, dude. Okay, but it was Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Hit from Episode 5, as most people probably know. It is there in the snow. You see Kylo Ren trying to use the Force to grasp it. He's trying to grasp it. Out of nowhere, he thinks he has it. You just see the lightsaber zoom past his face and him look, and you see Rey holding the lightsaber. It is and you hear the binary sunset, Luke Skywalker's theme in the background, and it is one of the most powerful scenes delivered in this movie, and is one of my favorite scenes in this movie, if not my favorite scene. It was great. But she is holding it and activates it, and he's just looking there like, holy shit. He activates it, and then the duel happens, and it's awesome. This is one of my favorite lightsaber duels in any of the Star Wars movies, I'm being honest. She's hacking at trees. She's and then essentially, she's hacking at trees. She gets good hits on them. And then it cuts away, and then we see the X-Wings. The X-Wings in this movie are freaking badass, dude. They're so cool. The X-Wings are awesome. The TIE Fighters are amazing. And you just, essentially they were, what Chewbacca and Han Solo were doing were blowing a hole in an oscillator to blow up Starkiller Base. So the X-Wings go in so the X-Wings are essentially in like a shorter version of the trench run. And, it's one of the best. You get the Skrazor or something for X-Wings on the soundtrack, and it's a great piece of music for that scene, and it goes along great. The cinematography in that scene were great. That part was awesome, and so Poe goes in, awesomely, and he blows up the oscillator, essentially starting to collapse the planet in on itself. So while then that happens, and it cuts back to Rey and Kylo Ren fighting. And then essentially it's somewhat like an earthquake happened, and part of the planet separated. Like not the entire planet separated. It wasn't like that. It was like part of it separated as like an earthquake, or as like a sinkhole type area. And they're standing right there, and Rey's, and they're in that lightsaber lock, the saber lock. And Kylo Ren's essentially, I could show you the ways of the Force. And Rey goes, the Force, and she closes her eyes, and you hear the Force theme, and then she basically becomes, it basically inherits the Force. She essentially uses the Force. She gets out of that saber lock. Slices off a part of his coat, also somewhat cutting his leg. Not off, but cutting his leg. So we see him down. And then at this point, she's going all out. She's, they engage in somewhat of a saber lock. Ren is trying to cut her with the lightsaber, while Rey has the lightsaber in another hand. The lightsaber's down on the ground. You see them just together. with the binary sunset going powerful in the background, and then she slices his lightsaber right on his face, slices his face, not in half. It's like leaves a pretty nasty scar on his face. Rey kicked Kylo Ren's balls in, and she beat the dark side of the Force. She did not kill Ren, even if it was easy. She beat the dark side of the Force, and she is more powerful, as you can see, than Kylo Ren. When Kylo Ren, all this movie, thought he was the most powerful. And I just love that. And then Luke Skywalker's entry into the movie is not till the very end. And his entry is amazing. You don't see him for that long, and a lot of people hate the movie because it ends in a cliffhanger, pun intended. Because it ends no dialogue whatsoever. All you hear is the theme go. You have Rey's theme going with Luke's theme, and it merges together, and it's just great. And Rey climbs the mountain. She finds the location of Luke. She climbs the mountain, and you see him cloaked, looking off into the ocean. And you hear this theme, and it just looks at him. The camera's a shot at him, and you see him turn around with this face. He takes off his hood, and he looks at Rey. Remember when I said that this was one of the best pieces of acting in the movie? No dialogue. He still delivers a very powerful scene. People do not like this, and they think that they're expecting an epic entrance for Luke. This was an epic entrance for Luke. This was. You didn't need any dialogue, and you could tell that Rey took out Luke's lightsaber and holds it and is basically holding it out to him, as if to say, "I am ready." You don't exactly know what she's trying to say. She could be saying, "I am ready. It is time," or "It's time for you to come back. We need you." Okay? And then Luke looks at him with the face, and it's not a no happy-go-lucky face. It isn't. It's a face as if, do I really want to go back and do this? Am I ready to go back into all this? Am I ready? That is why I love the ending to this movie, and that is why his entrance is epic. Because without saying words, you can tell with the expression of his face, Luke Skywalker's back. And does he really want to come back? I love this movie. I have seen it 7 times, and I plan on going to go see it Sunday. This movie is amazing. I recommend it to everybody to go see this movie. I give this movie a 10. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. People are saying it's as good as Empire. If Kylo Ren was a better villain, and Captain Phasma was as badass as she was predicted and as publicized, this movie would be as good, if not better, than Empire Strikes Back. This has been Jedi Optimus Prime 1. This has been Jedi Optimus Prime 1 with my Star Wars The Force Awakens review. Thank you all. Have yourself a happy new year. Don't forget to like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and may the Force be with you.